Hello and welcome back to the Baggies Podcast YouTube channel, where of course we're giving you all the latest news, views and opinions on all things Albion. We're back again today with a match reaction to Albion's first, we'll say first pre-season friendly. We know it's not really the first pre-season friendly, but the first one that all Albion fans have been able to take a look at and watch themselves. 2-0 loss against Stevenage away from home. Really disappointing result for Albion, although it is pre-season, we have to remember that. We'll be reacting to all that friendly and all the sort of goings on in that in this video, and sort of looking at Bruce's sort of team selection, his substitutions throughout the match as well, because of course those may give us a little bit of an indication as to who maybe actually gets some game time when the season starts. But before we crack on, make sure you subscribe to the Baggies Podcast YouTube channel for more reaction to all the viewable friendlies. Anyway, I know that they do some on WBA TV and some not. So yeah, everyone that will be able to stream. And of course, I'm hopefully going to the Hertha Berlin game at the end of the month, of course, as well. Make sure you subscribe for all those reactions. And yeah, drop your comments down below if you watched the game. Did you go to the game? I can imagine you're not too too pleased with the result, but hopefully a nice day in the sunshine nonetheless. But yeah, let's crack on. Let's talk West Bromwich Albion Stevenage. A disappointing defeat for Albion. You're watching the Baggies Podcast YouTube channel. For match previews, match day vlogs, match reactions and more, make sure to subscribe to the Baggies Podcast YouTube channel. Of course, there's no massive reason to panic just yet, but 2-0 against Stevenage is a result that I think no Albion fan would have really expected today. Of course, a 2-1 win, against Leyton Orient earlier on in pre-season. That was the last game that they played. They've also played an intra-squad friendly just a couple of days ago. But this against Stevenage, it's a really disappointing result. Whether you look at it as a bit of a pre-season warm-up game, which it is, which is exactly the face. The purpose of it is to get ready for the new season. Or you just look at it as a bit of a, oh, well, there's Stevenage, we should really be beating them, which I think, but looking at both of them, I think you should still be picking up a win. So yeah, of course, starting out the game, I think we started the better side. I think there were definitely passages of play and definitely a more sort of positive emphasis. I couldn't tell you actually how we played for the first sort of 25 minutes. I was trying to watch it on the stream, but of course, as I'm sure you'll have known if you'd have watched the stream, really, we did. Albion were really struggling to get that stream going, so ended up having to wait till about 20 minutes, 25 minutes in, and then finally got to catch the sort of rest of the first half. I initially thought that it would be half time where there would be on and off subs. Then I thought it would be 60 minutes, and then of course we got to 60 minutes and only DK and Wallace came on. But here's how Albion lined up. We lined up with Button in goal, Furlong, Kipre and O'Shea at the back. I think Kipre was an interesting one because he played 90 minutes today. I thought that was pretty interesting to see. I expected Shemi Ajayi to sort of partner O'Shea for most of the season. I know it's only pre-season, and I've probably said that about 50 times today, but I thought that Kipre was sort of out the door. The fact he's played 90 minutes probably tells me that Bruce may see something in him, maybe not now after conceding 2 goals against Stevenage, but O'Shea alongside him, Townsend left back, Malumbi, Swift and Mowat in midfield with a front three of Dean Garnett, Grant and Phillips. So, yeah, there's some weird decisions in there, I think. I do hope that's not the lineup that we come to expect as the season starts. Of course, I think Daryl DK should be the striker, not Karlan Grant, and Matt Phillips on the right wing and there's Jed Wallace on the bench. I know he did come on later in the game. I just hope, I know it's only pre-season, I know he's only experimenting with these sorts of tactics, but I doubt that will be the lineup come the first game of the season. We look at sort of the way we started the game. There was lots of positive at the end of the first half. 0-0 going in at half time. John Swift, I thought, played really well in that first half. I thought he started to kind of pick the lock and began to sort of spray those passes out wide, which really helped to open up Stevenage. They were quite a compact side. Of course, working really hard, trying to just stay in the game against the Championship side in that first half. Of course, a couple of chances. Grant tried to get round the goalkeeper, but the defender chasing back at him managed to get a sort of bit of a nick and send it back to the goalkeeper and put Grant off. So, yeah, big chance for him there. Probably should have shot. Definitely should have shot, actually. Dean Garner had a chance towards the halfway mark. Sort of just ricocheted over to Dean Garner, and the goalkeeper just came and smothered it. But yeah, it was a really good chance because the goalkeeper was miles off his line and quite far out of the goal as well. So, yeah, 2 chances really for Albion in the first half, and I thought that we looked all right. I thought the way that we moved the ball was pretty slow, lethargic still, as it normally is for a pre-season game. In pre-season, you'd have to remember there is always a bit of a lack of intensity, and you kind of struggle to get up to the speed of a normal game, and that's what it's there for. That's what it's always there for, to kind of pick yourselves up and keep going and sort of get your fitness up and get your sharpness right to the top. Fitness is always good at the start of pre-season, but especially after you've done sort of a bit of fitness training, but not when it's kind of down to doing these games. The sharpness has to be up as well. So yeah, I think that the intensity isn't a massive problem for me, because I know that that's the sort of thing that gets better as you go through pre-season. But it is still a little bit of a worry, the fact that a side was towards the end of the game beating us, and we didn't seem to have an extra gear about us at all. I look at the half-time changes. Daryl DK came on for Carlan Grant, and Matt Phillips went to right back, and Furlong came off for Jed Wallace, which I just thought was a really odd choice. Matt Phillips, I know he does need his fitness. If he is going to stay with us, which I at this moment in time, there's been no real interest in him. I thought that the likes of Phillips would kind of get their fitness up, but I thought it was a bit weird not bringing on another right back, which at this moment in time, Gardner Hickman is the right back. It just seemed quite a weird second half from Bruce as we kind of went into the final stages of the game in the second half. He seemed to kind of abandon the idea of a formation and kind of just stuck. It reminds me a little bit of what he did at Swansea earlier in early on in his reign last season, where he kind of just stuck as many attacking options on the pitch as he could, and basically anybody who was attacking would be on the pitch, and that would be his aim to try and win the game. And I thought that was a bit disappointing in the way that he kind of went about that today. Brought on Zahor. Zahor came up front. Wallace was on. Dean Garner was still on. There are plenty of attacking options on there, and we kind of abandoned the idea of a formation, and everyone was kind of doing a bit of everything. First off, going back to that, I thought the stand-up performance of Dean Garner, I thought he had a couple of nice little runs. Looked a little bit sort of like what we saw from him in Bilic's season, but of course not to the extent where he's getting those contributions in that first half as well. As I said, John Swift and Jason Malumbi was good, recycling the ball in the back four, and I thought Kipre was okay throughout the game. I thought he passed the ball well. I just couldn't believe he was starting, and I couldn't believe he didn't come off after 60 minutes as well. I thought, it's a difficult one. I suppose Shemi Ajayi has had a long pre-season with games for Nigeria and all sorts, but I thought that Kipre, I just thought it was an odd decision to start him, really. I think he's out the door, but of course it was nice to see him get some game time if he is to stay. But if not, Bruce has got some decisions to make as to who goes, because there's plenty on the bench. There are 4 centre-backs in the squad today, and Carl Bartley was also on the bench, but not taking any part because of injury. But the second half, the goals that we conceded, a miscommunication is all I can say between Palmer and O'Shea. Took the first goal for Stevenage. That was disappointing. Norris, I think, sort of got a bit of a touch, and O'Shea was trying to clear it, and he ended up just sort of back-heeling it into his own goal. Second goal, no better, really, with being beaten at that back post. Disappointing again. 2 really poor goals to concede, and that's what worries me, is because the way that we kind of just went for it, we just left so many holes. I know it's Stevenage, and I know that you can afford to maybe throw a few more men forwards because they haven't quite got the attacking quality. But still, you have to be able to remain compact defensively. And today I thought we were conceding quite a few too many opportunities in and around the penalty area for this stage of pre-season, despite the fact I know that the intensity, as I said, is going to be upped over the next few games. Sharpness is going to get better. It was just a bit weird, and then sort of the substitutions started to come on, and it just we lost all sort of shape in our play. And I know intensity is something that, as I said, is going to improve, but we lost all of our shape, and there was no real recovery runs to try and compensate for that when Stevenage went forward. I saw a few shrugged shoulders, which I know is a bit disappointing. I know that it's only pre-season, but still, you want to be winning these games. You want to keep the competitive edge about these sorts of fixtures. In the first half, I saw that we were kind of every time that we got the ball out wide, there didn't seem to be too many patterns of play. Seemed to be just sort of find each other, and the likes of John Swift can try their best to cross in a ball for somebody in the middle. But in that first half, we kept playing these aerial balls into the box, and we learnt our lesson under Ishmael last season, that we don't have that sort of striker. Of course, DK was on the bench, and so was even Zahor was on the bench at this point, so you haven't got an aerial target to look at. you're still looking at the likes of Dean Garner to cross the ball to, and of course they're not going to win those headers even against players of League Two standard. They're still tall, they're still strong, they can still header the ball away and clear the ball easily. So yeah, that was what really disappointed me, is there didn't seem to be any attacking patterns of play in the final third. It seemed to be just sort of a free-for-all. We seemed to kind of lob the ball over the heads of the attackers again, which was disappointing. But yeah, the first half was slightly more positive. As I said, we did create a few chances, but the second half defensively, as I said, as we sort of tried to push for this win, we abandoned a bit of a formation as such. We really looked disappointing, and that's where I kind of I've got my bone to pick with it. I know it's only pre-season. I'm sure things will get better, and there's no need to panic yet by any means. It's just my observation on the performance, and I was disappointed with what I saw in terms of. I think structure is probably what I'd go for. Yeah, disappointing. I know intensity will improve, but yeah, disappointing start to pre-season really. Of course. Yeah, of course, we've got Northampton on Wednesday, 8:45 kickoff, so we'll be reacting to that probably the next day on the YouTube channel, so stick around for that. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know your thoughts down below. Subscribe if you're new. I'll see you in the next match reaction, and see you next time. Goodbye.